Hi everyone, for today's book review we're going to check out the magnificent Noir Afloat. Tony Cornero and the Notorious Gambling Ships of Southern California, written by Ernest Marquez. And to suit a topic of such tempestuous times, there is a storm outside, so I do apologize if the background noises, there's a bit of thunder, lightning, rain, apologies. But we can't control the weather. This is an incredible book. It looks at a very brief and dramatic time when Southern California was a hotspot for gambling ships. Old vessels anchored outside of the 3-mile limit that were basically floating casinos. You could take a water taxi for 25 cents out onto these tired old vessels whose superstructures had been completely cleared out and converted into a giant casino. And you could gamble, lose all your money, you could dine, dance, lose your money, and basically go home broke. But it was the 1930s, it was the time of the Great Depression, and it was also the time of Prohibition. So, what's a down-at-luck person or couple or young family going to do for entertainment? Go on a casino ship. And the first half of this book looks at one of the leading proponents of the casino ship movement, Tony Cornero, who was a complex and extraordinarily headstrong gangster. He had a phenomenal memory, apparently could remember all his clients, all his contacts, all his dealings, was quite willing to break the law when it suited him, and also was quite willing to uphold the law in other instances. And his very interesting life could be adapted to a limited series. Netflix, are you listening? And it could potentially be the next Boardwalk Empire. This very headstrong individual ran his businesses, and at the very end, before he died at the age of 55, he was just on the brink of seeing his Stardust Casino in Las Vegas being completed. And for those of you who know Las Vegas, the Stardust was an icon of the 60s. The second half of this book looks at not just the casino ships that were run by Tony Cornero, but the other ones that were involved. All these casino ships had one thing in common. They were old vessels that were down on their luck and for one reason or another found themselves being utilized as a floating casino. All these vessels, their lives are documented, how they began originally, and a lot of these ships are fascinating. We have everything from proud, four-masted windjammers. We have an old ocean liner, coastal steamer. We even have a former Q ship. And all these vessels at some point became casino ships, where essentially their superstructures were cut down, their innards were completely gutted, and basically all that room was converted into a giant casino. Some of them sank and can still be dived on. There's one that ran aground on a beach, and on certain times when storms scour the sands, the wreck briefly rises up and then disappears again. One was converted back into a sailing ship and ended up sinking in the Second World War, and the others were scrapped. All their details and luxurious photos are included, and through these pages you can just feel the 3 decades of research that the author has done. The writing in this book is smooth as the single malt that I drank before I began this review. It is a fantastic, easy read, and I need to say that the layout of this book is just gorgeous. I'm sure you're seeing the photos up here now. All the black and white photos are reproduced with perfect quality. It is thick paper, so it can absorb a lot of ink and detail. And the layout of this book, it looks doesn't just look good on your bookshelf, but it'll look fantastic on your coffee table as well. This is a first-class production, and beyond the visual look, so you can see that all the photos are in black and white, and the paraphernalia, so a lot of the postcards, tickets, chips, whatever, are all in color. So visually, this is very interesting to look at as well. All the vessels are illustrated with photos, with all of the various publicities, some that had dramatic ends where possible. The photographs are included to include that as well. And this is a comprehensive, the most comprehensive book on this very little known and barely covered element of maritime history. It would have been great if, as an addendum, the Hollywood aspect of this scene would have been covered, because at one point it was the thing to do in Southern Hollywood, to basically have the weekend, take all your friends in your fancy cars and Cadillacs and Fords, go down to the harbor, jump on a water taxi, and then spend the weekend or one great big night on board the casino ships, and then head back into town and, count your losses. Hollywood picked up on this glamorous and dangerous element, and so there are no less than 3 movies made about casino ships, and you should see a poster of one of them now. So there's Gambling Ship, and Gambling on the High Seas. Gambling Ship was remade twice, because why not? Hollywood has always been remaking since the beginning, so it's nothing new. If you love gangsters, if you love 1930s history, particularly American society during the Prohibition, the Great Depression, the era of the gangsters, with a touch of maritime history, this book is that. If you love your maritime history and want to learn about something very different and quite unique, this book is perfect. It covers every element of the casino ship trade, how it operated, the vessels that were involved, and their full careers and ultimate fates. This is without doubt a 5 out of 5 captain's hats. It's an impressive work of history, and it's just lavishly produced, and the photos are a feast for the eyes. It reads well. There's a comprehensive bibliography for those who want to pursue the different elements more, such as individual histories of some of the vessels. If you want to look at more of the gangster side, the prohibition side, the legal side, there's plenty in the bibliography there for you to start off and go off on your various tangents, should you want to do so. This will probably be the final word in the history of the casino ships, and what a book! I could not compliment this highly enough. If you love your maritime history with a dash of danger and a bit of Art Deco era elegance, then do check this book out. It is fantastic. Noir Afloat. Go check it out.